break down a chicken, and you'll have to also create a dish out of that chicken. You'll be given vegetables you'll have to cut into basic cuts. You'll be given starch you have to use for part of that presentation. So I'm going to break down this chicken, how you're supposed to do it for that practical. I'm going to do it again before we get there. It's going to be the end of class, but if you want to take notes, it'd be a good idea. Otherwise, if you have a good memory, then just wing it. All right. Now, there isn't one way to break down a chicken. The proper way is to break it into the parts you need it into. If I want whole wings, I can start by breaking down the entire wing by cutting it off right at the bone. Always tuck the wings if you serve whole wings. That includes if you roast a chicken whole, you want to tuck those wings. Why would we want to tuck wings for cooking? So the tips won't burn for more even cooking, absolutely. So always tuck those. Anytime I see you with chicken and you're about to cook it, if there's a wing untucked, I'm going to come unglued. Not really, but I'm going to let you know it. Okay, in our case, we're going to cut, for that final practical, I'm going to want to see one wing, and I'm going to want to see what's called an airline breast, so you're going to leave that last segment connected to the breast. You'll see when we get there. The great thing about the structure of a chicken, the skin exposes the areas that you need to cut it on. Pretty much there's a line right down the middle of the breast. There's a bone right in the dead center of the breast called a keel bone. It kind of comes up like this. So you want to cut on either side of that to get the breast out. And I'll show you when we get there. Also, there's a line almost directly down the middle of the back where you want to take the back out, if that's the way we want to cut it. In which case I would cut on either side of the backbone down to a point. I'm going to talk about this frequently every time we cut thighs. I'm going to want to see you get the oyster in the thighs. Can you see there's a muscle right here and here that's about the size of my thumb, actually, maybe a little smaller. Kind of oyster shaped right there and right there. Can everybody see that? That's the oyster. And we want that connected to the thigh because that's good edible meat. Otherwise, it ends up connected to the backbone and it ends up in stock. Depending on how we cut it, you could roast a whole half chicken with the backbone in it. That's up to you. That's your choice. For our purpose, for what we're doing, we're not going to do that. So we do need stock. Most of the way we're going to prep chicken, we're going to take the backbone out first. So I'm going to start by doing that, and you want to sit it like it's watching TV, okay? Okay? Pull the tail out, and you can see where you're cutting down to. Sometimes excess fat gets in the way. I'll cut it off just so I keep a good view of the bones. Have a scrap pile or a scrap pan, and that stuff goes in the trash. Have, for your practical, have a pan on ice with plastic wrap that you can put your parts as they're done. I'm going to go kind of slow because I want you guys to see how I'm doing this. All right, there's excess fat down here too. I get that out of my way. Okay. So, sit it like it's watching TV. And I'm going to put my finger in here on the backbone, and then I'm going to put my knife in, and notice if I cut like this, I'm going to harpoon the back of the breast the whole way down this backbone. So notice my knife is going to be like this. Okay? I'm cutting down the backbone. You can hear the bones crack. I cut down to the oyster. Then I pop that joint. No. Then I can cut around the oyster like that. and I have the backbone out. I have the oyster meat there. See this little socket? It's like a ball and socket joint right there. That's where the oyster is. We'll do the same on the other side, so I'll do it one more time. But this is the base of the neck going into the backbone. Okay, so I'll set it back up. This side's a little more tricky. And notice again, my knife is up and down. I click those rib bones. I get down to the oyster. I cut around. Pop that joint. And get the rest of the way through. I've got a nice clean backbone without the oyster meat, a little oyster meat on there. You can see that. It's not a mouthful, so I'm not worried about it. Also inside the backbone, you're going to find liver, kidneys. You're going to find some organs. I try not spend half an hour doing it, but just take a couple seconds and pull that out. That makes your stock taste nasty. So this we will roast for stock. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and cut through this side. So then I'll have this cut in half and the backbone out at that point. What I do is cut through that keel bone and I score it. And then it'll break nice and easy. Then I can cut the rest of the way through. Okay, then I have my 2 halves. Okay, 1 half, we're going to have a boneless, skinless chicken breast. We're going to have a whole wing. And we're going to have a thigh and a leg. A whole chicken, 8 pieces. If we're cutting at 8 cut. We're not cutting at 8 cut. So right in here, notice this. That's how I separate the breast from the thigh and the leg. There's no meat in there. There's one part of a little bone. So I can very easily draw my knife through there. All I did was put my hand in there and kind of put a crease in there, an indentation, and just cut right through there. Okay. Same is true on this side. You can see where the thigh stops and the leg begins. There's kind of a line right there. And what I do is I put my finger on it, put my thumb on it, and I find the joint. There's a bone here and a bone here, and they meet like this. You can put your thumb on it, and it'll like separate just a little bit. Then you can find where that bone is. Then you can put your knife right on it and cut straight through without any effort. That makes sense? So you're looking for those joints. You're using the bone structure to tell you where to cut. Same with the wing. I'm going to find the base of that wing. I'm finding the base of that bone. It's right in there. And I can go right through that joint without much of a problem. Got a little breast meat on it, not too bad. Okay, so this is boneless, skinless breast. Pretty much I can just rip this skin right off.